Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and the world, especially the United States in particular, internally, is such an amazingly chaotic, crazy place right now. It's not even every day that I see something so wild I can't believe it. It's almost every hour. And right now, in the last couple of hours, one man is dead and another wounded following a gun battle in Seattle's Chop Zone after the two men plowed their Jeep into the area and started shooting, but armed protesters fired back. Now, before I get into just the pictures of this, I'm sure there's going to be video that surfaces. I would imagine it could be graphic. It's probably not something I'm going to want to play here. But this, to me, is one of the big problems with this idea that we can all kumbaya and live together without a police force. Because we live in a very, very different reality. And whether you wanted to call the armed protester security force police, it doesn't really matter. They ended up shooting at other people who were shooting at them, supposedly protecting the area. And we're going to break all that down. I just want to remind everybody, we are 100% demonetized on this platform, so please thumbs it up, share, subscribe, join the Burmis Brigade. Love to hit 55K. Check out the documentary films. Let's roll it, because what we had here is essentially two guys charging in with a Jeep, apparently. Okay? They started shooting before armed protesters returned the fire. Police said the deadly shooting unfolded just before dawn on Monday in the Capitol Hill's organized protest zone. Wow. So maybe there isn't video because it's just before dawn at 3:15 in the morning, but I would imagine there might be. One of the wounded men was brought to the Hebrew View Medical Center at about 3:15 a.m. in a private vehicle, before the second man was brought about 15 minutes later by Seattle Fire Department medics. Now, let's just scroll through some of these, because what you're looking at is not a third world country. You could probably very well mistake this for somewhere in South America or somewhere in Mexico where there was a gang problem, where there's blood on the streets, an SUV full of bullets, graffiti everywhere, porta potties. I mean, come on, man. This is an American city. This is Seattle. Trump-free zone. No Russian agent provocateurs here. I mean, when you want an ignorant message to be personified, that's it right there. There are no Russian agent provocateurs in your Trump-free zone. It's incredible to me. The world has been turned upside down. Major city blocks are being taken over. Gunshots and battles are taking place. And nothing is being done. Except for saying, hey, let's defund the police. Let's take the human element out of law enforcement. No, we need to demilitarize the police. We need to hold them accountable when they abuse their power, when police brutality occurs. It happens. All right? We need to decriminalize marijuana across the board and relook at some of our other drug laws. That's also a reality. There's a lot of reform that could happen. Not defund them, not get rid of the police department. Because once we do that, it's an automation nation, and you're going to have Spot, the Boston Dynamics DARPA robot, coming over it with you with a nice little attachment telling you how to behave. Well, if you don't behave with Spot, you're not going to be able to wrestle a gun or a taser out of its hands. It's going to be built in. It's going to be an attachment. Be nothing to wrestle away. You get a little too close, a little too out of line. And don't worry, non-lethal force will be applied. But hey, no big deal when you're living in a nation where the guy running for president on the Democratic den is visibly senile, hasn't picked a running mate yet, and has said he would mandate masks nationwide. Yet we're allowing anarchy, and I know there's some anarchists out there. That's not true anarchy, Jason. Well, show me where true anarchy's really worked. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who wants to be a volunteerist, I'm with you, brother. Volunteer away. Get out in the streets. Create real change, real social justice. I'm all for that. All for it. But let's not act like this can and will not occur without some semblance of government and police and law enforcement. Because it will. And it does. And it didn't take long for the battle in Seattle to happen, huh? I mean, take a good look. And I just can't get down with the overwhelming ignorance surrounding all of this. People can't get out in the streets because their businesses are closed. People can't get out in the streets because guys like Cuomo are now also saying the president now, Trump, must sign an executive order for everybody to wear masks in public. I can barely understand somebody in a mask from 2 to 3 feet away anymore. And I'm supposed to be 6 feet away from that person under these draconian, ridiculous rules, these transhumanist agenda motives, right? All that. But hey, we're going to mandate it nationwide. And if you want to protest something other than what we approve of, something that's racially divisive and promote riots and promote autonomous zones and the defunding of the police, you want to protest anything other than that, or if you want to go to a political rally, then you're going to spread COVID-1984. 2020 is a wild year. 2020 is a wild year. And last night when I was in the bar, I saw just like a little 20-second clip of the guy in the pink polo with the machine gun. I saw no context in it. And Askren was saying something about, like, you know, he wasn't actually going to shoot anybody. You know, he's wearing a pink polo. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is the wildest time ever. And I didn't know that he was a government official. I saw that it had been on a private road. I hadn't seen them enter, like it wasn't even a private road. It's a private door. So they're literally on private property. Apparently the guy's a politician. But all I was thinking to myself when I saw it, I go, 2020 is the wildest year when I see, you know, an older couple, a guy in a pink polo that looks like he's going to be out on the golf course in khakis, right? He looks like he's hitting 18. That's the first thing I'm seeing. Is out there with a machine gun and his wife with a little handgun in her hand, and there's a bunch of protesters walking by. I'm like, man, it just can't get any wilder. You know, earlier in the evening, I'd been sent the video of the shooter in Louisville, Kentucky. Just boop, 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 boop. I mean, we are in a real bad place in this country right now. And when something like the message that Bobby Green said about his father, who also happened to be white, Bobby Green, picked up in foster care, a black man, a message of that, of love, peace, togetherness, gets flagged by Twitter as sensitive content. And none of this other stuff I'm showing you will. Gunfights in Seattle in the chop zone. No, they'll be promoted. All right? They'll be promoted. But a message of love gets suppressed on social media. Wild times. 2020 just gets wilder and wilder and wilder and wilder. So guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. Please go check out my other videos, especially if you don't know what Cuomo just said at his press conference a couple hours back. Go check it out, because I couldn't make some of this stuff up. He's saying 95% of the public wants to wear a mask. That's the kind of bull shiz nizzle spouting out his mouth. If you're into the esoteric stuff, I just did a breakdown of the Holy Mountain with Jay Dyer of jaysanalysis.com. Really fun stuff there. I go over the hypocrisy of removing the Teddy Roosevelt statue, while Cuomo says, well, we're going to keep the Columbus one because of the Italian-American heritage, or legacy, or whatever he wants to call it. The Italian-American legacy. He's there on behalf of Spain, but no big deal. You know, people with big jewels on their head and everything, but no big deal, right, Cuomo? See, the hypocrisy is overwhelming, and if you want to learn about how universities are basically going to make you sign off on these little social compacts. See that? All must sign social compact. Well, those social compacts are going to include mandatory vaccinations of this COVID-1984 vaccine when it comes. And Tennessee has mandated the flu vaccine on top of that. You can't make this stuff up. I want to remind everybody, I am fully demonetized here, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors need you now more than ever. Trying to hit the road literally in 2 days. Cars in the shop, hoping to get a call so I get it back this afternoon. Thinking outside of Cleveland, maybe the first spot, if not outside of Dayton. That's probably what we got, guys. That's probably where we're starting the trip, hunkering down, doing some videos, then hitting the outdoors, filming, and also doing live streams from all these areas. Let's find that freedom, America. Check out the documentary films Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture free right here. Go check me out over on Rockfin and Minds, and use your mind, use your brain, all right? Don't fall for these false movements that are descending our country into chaos. These false narratives of defunding the police. Again, you want to hold them accountable? Yes. Yes. You want to demilitarize them? Yes. But you're only going to get this type of result, especially now more than ever, when we are beholden to a whole new mindset during COVID-1984. Love you. See you on the flip.